The first round of the NHL Draft is over, and it was a surprise in some ways, and not a surprise in many ways. What is surprising is that we've assembled this quickly, because usually it takes us another 4 weeks after things happen to do that. Here we are. Welcome, everyone.
Look at us go.
Here we go.
Thanks for having us.
We had a little clap battle
I
at the
have?
beginning of this, and Luca and Z blew it.
Oh, that's so bad.
Let's say.
Then Z redeemed himself,
Oh, that was good.
so much better.
Yeah, but you don't get a redo
And Luca chose to take the high road.
because I beat him already.
He's an honest clapper.
He blew it. But we've come here, we've assembled, because we have 8 questions about the draft. And you guys are going to have to answer all of them. You guys ready for this?
Every single one of them is
Every
about the
single
Leafs.
one of them.
Woo!
No, actually, what? No,
One
Lord.
pick, 8 questions.
Now, I promise you we are going to talk about many teams in this. I know that's always a concern of, we're going to be talking about our own teams. But no, these are all very open-ended about the whole draft. So, Julia, you're going to start us off.
Okay.
It's World War II, and you're the captain of the boat, and you have to bomb an enemy boat, and teammates are swimming in the water. This is a very normal question to ask someone at a draft.
Yeah, I would let all of you guys die.
What the hell? You're getting drafted by Montreal Canadiens.
I'm just being honest. Like, what kind of, like,
What
they
a
can't
stupid
answer
question.
those. Yeah, it's bizarre.
Can you imagine?
But also, like, they're already dead.
For sure they are. That's what I'm saying.
Yeah,
like, why
like-
would I go back and try to rectify something? Even if I went to try to save you guys, I'm not hauling your asses out of the water. Like, there's no chance.
My favorite part of the whole thing was he's like, but I think I'd just not do it. Say this. He was like, you have to. He like jumped in.
Yeah.
All right, my real first question: Leo or Fantilli?
Yeah. So I don't know if you guys saw the video that Marissa posted last night. Her and I were sitting in a park getting ready to go to dinner, and I was watching the draft on my phone. We were kind of having a conversation because I was feeling like, and I know that there was conversations happening. I saw online there was lots of conversations happening in Nashville. People were saying like, oh yeah, it's pretty open ended after 1, but I did not think it was. I thought 1, 2, 3 were a lock.
Yeah.
Maybe we're biased towards Adam Fantilli because we got to hang out with him last week when he came to TSN, and he was so nice, and we did this whole mock draft show, and it was all like Bedard and Fantilli 1 and 2. So I was shocked, but I guess I shouldn't have probably been shocked because
You were like, how was your conversation with Anaheim?
yeah. God, I feel like such a bum for saying all this to him. Like I feel like I have to text
No,
him
but
and
we all
apologize.
thought it. Like,
Yeah, he
I
had his face up on the screen at TSN, like he was going too. He brought
Yeah.
us donuts. Like,
it was really
I felt
nice.
so
It's
bad.
Huge move. But
Yeah. But did you see that video come out where he
where
was
he
so
was like, I
fired
want to
up?
play for, but he said it before he got drafted,
Yeah.
I think, where
No,
he was like,
yeah, that
I'd
was
love
at
to play.
Michigan.
I'd love to play for the Columbus Blue Jackets.
This might be a little bit unorthodox, but I'd say the team that I want to go to is Columbus Blue Jackets. I think it would be a great spot. Got a lot of Michigan alumni there, a lot of great guys to learn from. So I'd be so honored and grateful to be able to be picked by them.
So
when did,
cool.
When did he say that?
Like
Before
before
the
the
draft.
draft.
Before they even knew the draft order, I think.
Really?
I think that was
That's
like an
cool.
old video from this year.
Yeah.
Luca Del Belbaluz also like posted on his Instagram story like reunited with the
Yeah.
Fantilli
Fantilli?
picture. So
Aw.
he's got some connections.
Good
in Columbus.
Italian
Yeah.
boys from Vaughan, all ready
it.
to have their little hearts stomped on by one Michael Babcock. I cannot believe that's a thing.
And James Malatesta, add another Italian
Oh
in there.
my God, we love that kid.
Wow.
This team is just players we love that are going to get ruined by Mike Babcock.
And that being said, like I know like the way the question is formed is it's get you to pick, but it's like honestly like again just another sign of just how deep this thing is. Like you really couldn't go wrong with
Yeah.
that second
No.
pick. Like do any of you here?
I disagree. Absolutely, I think they are wrong. I think
you're wrong? Okay.
Fantilli is a
Yeah.
better player.
Interest.
I'll go hard on that purely. Like, I think he's better, and honestly, just statistically, like if you look, like he had a historic season. Like he's pretty much the best scoring rate ever for an NCAA draft eligible player.
yeah,
and
freshmen
like,
don't win the Hobie Baker either. Like,
Yeah.
yeah, like
that.
for his scoring rate, you
They
have to
do
go
win
back
it
to
3 other times.
Yeah, no, but I mean, like, it doesn't happen often. Like, that's a pretty monumental thing.
I'm just making fun of you.
Yeah,
And-
no, I know you are.
But like you have to go back to
I
like Paul
understand.
Correa for somebody who scored as well as him in the NCAA in their draft eligible years. And when Paul Correa played in the NCAA, it was not what it is now. It's way better now. So
Yeah.
like it's even more impressive. And like I don't know.
Well, you can just go to the most recent of like, Jack Eichel is good.
Yeah.
Did the same thing. So.
And that whole tie-in with Anaheim with Paul Correa, I thought he was going there for sure. But I heard someone explain it today in saying that Carlson's more of a playmaking center, whereas Fantilli's more of a net driving center. I don't know. I didn't really get it. I was shocked at that, but I don't want to knock Carlson because I'm sure he's going to wind up being.
I'm gonna knock him. He's gonna be not top 3 players in this draft.
Well, I mean, again, like
Yeah.
we won't know for 10 years, so we'll see. That probably will be the
Will we
around
meet
the
up
next time we'll do a
and
show. so-
evaluate our 10-year mark?
Yeah.
Yeah,
Okay.
yeah, exactly.
Aw, we-
All right, let's go on to question 2 for Corwin, who's already fired up. How many teams will regret not taking Michikov? So go down the list. How many of those teams do you think maybe they should have done it?
I think 4.
Can we guess your 4?
Yeah.
Okay, well, Arizona obviously is one.
Yeah. Yeah.
Montreal,
Yeah.
San Jose,
Yeah.
Anaheim, because
Yeah.
they took like
they
if you're
took-
gonna take Carlson, you
Whoa.
may as well-
I think Columbus is going to be happy. Like, well,
yeah.
if Michikov is maybe he is the second best player, maybe even best player in the draft, and then Fantilli, I think you're comfortable saying like, I'm comfortable saying I think he'll be the third best player, and Columbus is like he fell to us. I think that's a good pick. Like I think that works for them.
Yeah.
But I think the other ones will regret it.
I mean, again, everyone kept saying like, "Oh man, 3 years, might not see him, might not sign." It's like they seem so sure he's gonna play it and soon potentially in
Yeah.
the NHL.
Yeah.
The other part is like I don't know why, because I think it's always been this way, but it kind of threw me when he was there. I was like, he's been this such like mythical figure in like the NHL
International
draft.
Good
man
point.
of mystery.
Yeah,
like
and
nobody
he
And then
just
he was
shows
just
up.
at the draft, and I was like,
See me
he's not that
happy,
mysterious.
but chill, yeah.
Exactly.
But it makes the whole thing even weirder of like oh like he might not even come, like this whole like rhetoric that is just like we'll see and whatever. But it's like if he was in the building, you'd have to assume like yeah, you should draft this guy, maybe wait a couple of years, but like he'll be there. And obviously again, no one in this room, we're not experts on a lot of things, but the one we're definitely not experts on, geopolitical stuff. So
Right.
I'm sure that's like there's a lot more being thought about on that end.
Yeah.
Yeah.
Fair enough. I mean, we did see the report before we started, though. Like the Coyotes got the sense that he wasn't gonna play for them if they drafted him. So
You had a good.
So they took 2 other
Yeah, but you made
yeah,
a
so
good
they took
point.
2 other KHL guys who we'll talk about them.
Wait,
later.
well they're
But
coming up.
I wonder how many of those teams also got that sense too, and if that's the main reason why he fell so far. But you were also saying like just take him and trade.
Yeah, you made a great point. Like, why not do that?
Because like you want the best value for your pick,
Yeah.
regardless. So like, and one thing is to be like, oh, we didn't get the sense that he wanted to play for us, so we reached for a guy that was pretty like much in the 20s for most people. And, like,
Yeah, when we
that's
also had a second pick.
yeah, you could have got him at 12.
Yeah, that was a long time. We'll talk about them in a moment, but I wonder like why again, like what Philly said that was like, oh yeah, take me, I'll go there. You know, they're a project for sure. It's not like a guaranteed he's a
yeah.
success. You think he's just like put me in the Metro with Ovi?
Yeah.
Maybe, but he also was just like, I could play with Ovi if I want.
Yeah,
Right.
I didn't want
Yeah.
to, like.
No, we don't know.
I was-
Not that he didn't
we don't
want to,
know.
but he was
No,
just
yeah.
like, you see the draft board. If you're gonna tank yourself all the way to Philly, one more pick and you're at Washington. Like,
No, but
I was
I mean,
really
like-
hoping that
Me
he
too.
was going to go to Washington.
Yeah. Do you think though, like he tanked the other ones? I don't think so. Like, do you think he had a conversation? Probably.
I think
not.
that's
we'll
been-
never know.
That's
but-
probably,
think
I
for
think that's
him-
probably been overblown.
Exactly.
I kind of think for him to fall to 7, there were probably a couple tank jobs.
I could see it if you just did it to the Coyotes and everyone else was fine.
Yeah, I could see that
Right.
too. No offense to the Coyotes.
Offense.
They don't even know if they are the Coyotes. We're saying Coyotes. They don't know if they're
They
Arizona. They
playing
don't know
in
what they are.
Arizona?
By the
where are
time
they
he comes to
playing?
the team, they don't know where. But also the interview with the agent, like I wonder what they were allowed to ask and not ask, because it's like it felt like there were many questions probably still that they wanted to ask that just couldn't. It was so like, what's he like? And then they kind of just moved on, but you could tell that it was like, man, I wish I could have just been directed like, is this dude coming here or what?
Yeah.
Yeah. We've been there. There's,
for sure.
There's definitely interviews you go into that they're
The
like,
second
You
you
have it
get
all
to
planned out.
I'm
I'm
not
not
doing
in-
this
yeah.
if you ask that.
Exactly.
It's
They'll
like,
say it right away.
Yeah.
No, not even right away, or right before you're about to ask, and you're like, "Oh, so I'll just change everything that I was."
Yeah,
gonna do.
exactly.
Don't worry, I will do that.
It's like they assume you know not to ask, but then you need to
By
have
the
that
way.
clarification. Yeah.
Luca, your question now is, what is the Coyotes?
I don't know.
You're wearing the same color as them.
This is not the same color
As their
them.
suit? Yeah.
Oh, is the suit? No,
that's kind of Coyote.
Wow, this guy's
more
pissed
like-
that he's anything like them.
I
don't
think
want to be like that.
right when people see this color and you say, look at the NHL and think of this color, people think Coyotes.
Yeah, I think so. I don't think
that's true.
Look how faded that is, bro.
I don't know what the Coyotes are doing. But I don't think anyone knows what they're doing. Like, you alluded to it, and whatever, upside aside, like, they can think that these guys have a ton of upside. They can think that both of them are coming because they're both from the KHL. They both play on the same team. So, yeah, you get 2 guys they have friends now in North America. They can team up and take on Arizona together, and it'll be all great. I don't know. It's a weird
Not
thing.
as weird as you just phrase that.
Yeah.
Take on Arizona together like it's a road trip.
The best buddy. Hey,
Just a couple pals tackling the big city.
coming from Russia together, it's maybe that was actually a consideration for them to select both of them, and hey,
That's like
pick
they'll
one,
both
pick the other.
They'll come if it's two.
Yeah, if it's
Yeah.
two, I don't know.
That's more strategy than I feel like they normally use.
I think they overthought this though completely, because in
think-
a draft that was viewed as one of the deepest, they're like one of the only teams that you look at and everyone's just like, what did you do?
Yeah.
You couldn't really have messed this up, and they're also not in a position to kind of take these swings on like high upside.
No.
or just
They
just
need someone like
pick some impact players that. And again, we
I-
are not
I
experts.
disagree with that. I think they should only be going high upside.
Really?
Because like they're such a disaster franchise that like you need something big.
Yeah, but you also need something soon. Like you might be gone.
That's the thing. Like, how do you approach a draft when you're looking at your team and you're looking at your situation? You're thinking, I don't know anything.
Like
about the
Zach
future of this
Benson's
team.
got high upside.
I'm the Zach
Yeah.
Benson
Would
part.
rather
where-
have
yeah.
him at 6
Like-
than the guy they took.
Yeah.
Like Sabres subreddit was definitely looking for like a defenseman for a long time, and then like when he was still available after all like the chaos of
Yeah.
the Coyotes, they became very clear who everyone wanted it.
I guess high upside is like the wrong way to put it. Just question marks. There are just a lot of questions about these guys, and safer but also high upside. Zach Benson's just a name I threw out there, but like
Yeah, they were still out. Yeah,
I think if you're in that position that Arizona is in, you're looking for probably immediate impact as soon as possible, because their team is just not an NHL team, and I don't think they have that. And who knows when these guys are going to be ready.
But it just feels like there were so many other guys. Like again, when you
yeah.
looked at the U.S. like national team development program and kind of the three guys that they were putting out as who just dominated the U18s.
Yeah.
And like two of them were still available. Oliver Moore was still available. Matthew Wood was still available. These are all guys that I think would probably, again, like you said, probably have less questions. And then on top of that, they're just like good players that I think had probably.
I mean, they weren't ranked in the 20s where.
I just think they probably have better value at those picks
Yeah.
than who Arizona took. So.
And you talked about defensemen too. Like there wasn't really this consensus. Like Reinbacher was viewed as a really good player, but like a lot of different people had a lot of different defensemen all over the place, kind
Yeah.
of thing. And then
the thing is,
you
he,
happen to take one of them at 6 now, and it's just like,
the thing is, once he skipped that World War II question, his draft was done. So we don't know how many teams asked him that question.
That's true.
I forgot
Yeah,
about that.
yeah. So let's move on to our next question. This one's for you, Julia. Why Easton Cowan? Why do you think? Easton
Okay, let's unpack, shall we, everyone?
You like Easton Cowan.
I like
like him
Easton
too.
Cowan.
And again, for anyone who
I
doesn't know,
like
that's
him too.
that's who the Leafs took with their pick, which it was seen for sure as a bit of a reach. And but why do you think they took him?
I think it's seen as a reach, maybe because he evolved so much during the year. He moved up on a lot of people's draft rankings. Like Craig Button was talking a lot about how just when 2023 started, he just kept getting better and better and better. And he was so good in the playoffs for London. He was like one of their best players. And I think people put a lot of stock into, hear me out, what the Hunter brothers think. Like what those two guys think actually matters. It holds a lot of weight in hockey. And it's pretty rare that those guys trust a young kid, especially in the postseason. So he gained a lot of trust from those guys. And then he was sick in the playoffs. Like he was over, I know the regular season stats aren't staggering, but he was like their guy in the postseason. He was over a point a game. He was really competitive. I know the word competitive is being highly contested
Luca's
today.
favorite word.
Scary word.
Luca thinks that's a bad word.
He's got a little
If
bite
if
to
you
it.
see
I
that,
know, like,
that's like being
yeah.
called a nice guy. Effectively,
you
like,
just
he's
look-
really nice.
Yeah.
If it's the first thing that anyone is saying about you, I feel like you're
I think
already
he has a
behind
little
the 8
bite
ball.
though. Like I don't know.
I think he does too.
I disagree.
You
by the
just
way,
look
with
at
your point.
you just look at it and you see the Leafs and another undersized forward and you're like, I can't believe this is still happening. But I think he's got a little bit of a different complexion than that.
I still have some things to say about him, but he did endear himself to the fan base a bit by he comped himself to Nazem Kadri as his.
Yes.
That's who he-
nice.
And like
that's
Mitch
who I
Marner
feel like.
FaceTimes him after. Like Mitch Marner is his
Yeah,
favorite
of course
player,
he is.
London
Well,
guy. Like that's pretty cool.
I like him.
Where are you
I'm
going
with
now?
you. I'm impressed by him. Like I like
Yeah.
him. But then the value part comes into this where it's like Sandine turned into Easton Cowan.
Yeah, like that's
That's
what they
so
traded
true.
Sandine for.
Yeah.
It's just like that
Seems underwhelming.
That's so disappointing now that like everybody was thinking, okay, well like, yeah, Sandine it pretty much is an NHL defenseman at this point and still has some upside. And then it was like, okay, well, at least they got a first back, all these things. And like, that's a first. Like, that's so much risk attached to.
So I was gonna say
pretty
it's
unnecessary
my
trade.
disappointment because obviously no one in this room
trade now.
Yeah.
obviously no one in this room knows how his career is going to turn. You just mean as far as the risk part of it more than anything. Because
Yeah, well, like the same thing I was saying with Michikov. Like, draft picks are just about value, and you're just trying to like, because even if this guy never plays a game for the Leafs, it could be something where he is an important
Gets
part
flipped for
of-
something.
Exactly,
Yeah.
and like the thing I
Yeah.
was saying to Luca yesterday was like the guy I wanted last year was Lane Hudson, and it was like, and then now look at Lane Hudson. He's probably one of the most valuable prospects you could have in hockey
Totally.
right now, and like he was a guy that a lot of people looked at. The one that I was comparing to him, and I don't think they're necessarily like, well, I don't know, they're kind of similar, but like is Gulyayev that the Avs got, and I thought that was a great pick, and that's who I wanted the Leafs to take.
Yeah.
In these next 2 years, that probably these guys are not going to play in the NHL at all.
No chance.
Yeah,
It
true
feels
living.
like there's a little more opportunity for a guy like Gulyayev or some of the other people available, like Kristall or whoever, to actually establish themselves as one of the top prospects in hockey. And I don't know if that will happen with Easton.
But obviously
Yeah.
you're rooting for the guy because he's on your
yeah,
team. But also
hey,
because it's like
he's a part of the Leafs now. I'm excited about
Ride
these.
or
glad
die.
Yeah.
Like, I'm excited about that. But the Leafs do have a thing right now. Like, yesterday they signed Pontus Holmberg to 2-year extension. Exciting. Snaps and claps for him. But, like, when are these guys going to
Don't get
take the
Luca to
next
clap.
step? Like, anyone on that Marlies team, any of these, like, exciting prospects, Nick Robertson, I know, poor guy, like, so
Yeah.
many injuries.
gonna
But when are
say.
any of those guys going to take the next step?
Well, I think Nyes did.
Yep.
Right?
Yeah.
He's
but
the
I
guy.
mean, like, the guys that have been
No, I
marinating
know,
with the
I know.
Marlies for 3 years.
Yeah.
We're always like, okay, when are you going to contribute?
Not everyone can
third-line
have a
center
great
or
AHL
fourth-line
team.
center?
Well, and yeah.
Yeah.
But
Zach Benson, baby. Let's go.
I was gonna say the one maybe Niemela comes over this year, and maybe that's why
I'd
they
love if
moved.
that happened.
Yeah, if they moved
Yeah.
Sandin, thinking like, hey, we like this guy more, and we're gonna give him some time next year. Maybe I don't like. Again, who knows? Because our GM is different. So
Corwin, you're up next. This one was pretty hotly contested. In fact, no, I'm gonna save this for a little.
Hotly.
I'm gonna take it. You know, we're gonna go for that one a little later. I'm gonna give you another one. How
Use hotly, and now you're gonna head.
Yeah.
Sorry, yeah, I had fake. Sorry, well, it'll get asked, but a little later.
we bit hard.
Yeah, all right.
All right.
Face is the thumbnail right there.
All right.
That's crazy.
Putting all of that together is like, whoa.
That was crazy.
Whoa. All right, Corwin. We know one player that everyone thinks is going to score 50 goals in a season in this draft, but how many players will have a 50-goal season in the
Ooh.
NHL?
That's
from this draft?
saucy.
Oh goodness.
4.
Which?
You didn't say that.
Now I'm asking.
I think 4, and I think it would be Bedard, Michikov, Fantilli, Benson. Oh, 5.
Who else?
You have to say.
No,
it
I
now.
think no. I'm not going to say 5. I think Will Smith is going to be really
Nice.
good, but I don't think he'll hit 50 goals.
Surprised you said, I mean, I think Benson's more like playmaking as well, but I mean, I'm happy you said that.
I just think he's going to be gross overall. Just
Yeah.
really good all with everything.
I love that.
Gross overall.
Love that.
Nick City, baby.
Okay. Luca, I'm going to let you tee off this one. Hotly contested. This is the one.
Ooh.
This was supposed to be
This
my
is hotly?
question.
Wow, I took Corwin's question.
What the hell? That's a thumbnail.
Yeah, that's the thumbnail. You can't though. He's smart. He did it at the side. You can't have a side thumbnail like that. It's too much. It's too much microphone in it.
Oh.
You look too happy there.
I don't know.
Luca, what is the best name in the NHL draft?
Oh.
This got like a little heat.
This has been hotly contested.
Because like,
Yeah.
who do you think?
Easton Cowan for me is the best name because I loved using Easton sticks growing up. That was my favorite
cool.
stick. So
The
I got
basic.
a soft spot for Easton Cowan. There aren't as many Eastons in the NHL that have ever made. I don't think there are any
names. Not just about like
Eastons.
hockey and dinner, like just a cool name.
It's
period.
a cool
There's
name.
a guy named Easton Stick already. We had the laugh. Easton Cowan's not.
Yeah, but he's not a hockey player.
He's not a hockey player.
When Quentin Musty is in there, like there's no name more unique than that in the whole draft. Like
That's fair.
I'm just gonna say, Will Smith.
No, there's like 2 baseball players who have that name.
But it's not hockey.
The guy played the Fresh Prince of Bel-Air theme when he walked up.
Pretty
That's pretty
elite.
cool.
The funny,
electric.
He leaned into it, so he's making it cooler.
someone had said, by the way, they were like, "Of course he knows all the lyrics." It's like because we all know all the lyrics.
I know.
to that song.
But he's pretty young.
God bless the Quizmaster. He was so shy to ask me. He said, "Do you know what the French Prince of Bel-Air is, or is that lame?" I was like, "Nah, you're so sweet."
I also like Oliver Bonk. I just love Bonk
Yeah.
as a last name.
True.
It's forever
Yeah.
a good name.
It's a forever good
It kind of
name.
gives Oliver Twist like he should be eating soup on a rooftop somewhere, but I'm into it.
Oliver Bonk.
Oliver Bonk.
It's a cool name.
It's to be
sick
fair though.
name.
There's a second coolest bonk name, like Radic.
Yeah,
is a
Radic
cool
is
name.
cooler than
yeah,
Oliver.
Yeah.
But
But Oliver gives it sort of like a chimney sweep. I don't know.
You're really just going
Oliver
on this
Bonk.
Oliver twist. There was a
it's like Radic Bonk.
Yeah.
Like radical bonk.
Yeah.
Crazy bong.
wasn't there another name that you guys were hot on too?
Axel.
Sandy
Yes, that one was a good
Pelican.
one.
Yeah, that's a sick
What was
name,
it? Sorry, give it its due. Give it its runway.
Axel Sandine Pelika.
That is a cool name.
It's a
Your
solid.
favorite?
Anytime you got three names in your name, it's sick.
Oh yeah.
Yeah,
I like
Okay.
that. Yeah.
What
I'm
other
into that
name rules
too.
do you have? I have a name rule where I just don't trust people with 2 first names.
Yeah.
Like a firsty.
Firsties are tough.
Like Eric Kirk.
Is Kirk your name of? I don't think Kirk
I
is first
wouldn't.
name.
Yeah, I wouldn't.
Actually,
name,
I think I dated a Kirk.
Kirk, yeah.
I don't.
I think.
Yeah.
The Kirk.
It's an uncommon.
Kirk
Kirsty
Van
Kirsty.
Houten.
Yeah, Kirk.
Yeah, Kirk
Muller.
is the first name. Like now I
Kirk
sound like an
Muller,
idiot, but
Kirk's the first name.
I never
absolutely.
trusted Eric Kirk to start. So I never
no.
took the name association into
All
it.
right, we
but
spent
yeah.
far too long in this now.
I don't
Julia,
think we spent enough.
here's your question. What was the best moment of the NHL draft? There are a lot of wholesome moments in here.
Oh,
What was your favorite? Maybe everyone will answer this
I'm
one.
like the biggest Fantilli stan right now. His dad was melting my heart.
Yeah, him
Jacket.
crying there. Yeah.
The jacket
Gee,
was really cool.
Jacket was awesome.
Yeah.
Jacket was very cool. That's very
Adam calls him G. I
He
don't
called
know.
his dad G.
Yeah.
That's so cool.
Yeah,
Such a
he
baller
did
move.
genuinely seem very thankful. Like he kept mentioning like the finances of everyone going there and spending their time, where he seemed to appreciate like going there and doing all that. Like,
Yeah.
yeah.
Nicest
What else?
family. Julia already said it too. They came in for when Julia was hosting the Craig Button mock draft, and they brought Timbits and donuts for like.
They're
the
so
crew.
nice.
You know what? No
Pro
surprise. Good Nobleton, Ontario family right there.
The sweetest people
Something in the
ever.
water in Nobleton.
Yeah. What else was nice, guys? Like,
I mean,
what
it
do
wasn't what was nice. It was definitely the most notable as well. Where I think all of us professionally were like, "Oh man, you know what that feels like?" With Carey Price when he forgot the name.
Bonsoir. Le Canadiens de Montreal are proud to select David. We planned it that way. David Reinbacher.
The second he didn't recall the last name, you knew it. You're like, he's not gonna get to
It
that
was
name.
gone. It was gone.
Someone should have jumped in faster, and he played off fine anyways because they're like, "Yeah, man, like he doesn't present for a living."
And the tweet after was really good.
yeah, he's like, "Whoops." Yeah.
And it almost happened, we were talking about it too, it almost happened with Pecorine when he was announcing Nashville's pick, and he said the first name again, and you're like, oh no, is this going to be a Carey Price same night? They need to just get cards. It's the
don't
lamest
understand
thing.
it.
Why do you not get cards?
You're right. Because at the Oscars they have cards, and no one's ever made a mistake that way. And
well,
Hey, if you make a mistake, you make a mistake. But at the same time,
can you imagine, by the way, if that had happened and he
You
went?
draft the wrong guy.
Yeah, how
I don't
fun-
think you get to go back.
No, like
No,
Can you
there's no
imagine?
way.
There's no Moonlight situation where they go, someone comes on the stage like, "Moonlight, you
But-
won." It's actually Michikov. And,
I will say though, like if it's like the NFL draft where you have to like call in the pick first, but someone else
True.
messes up.
We're just watching
in
the TV part.
process of it exactly. Then maybe you get it. I will say, like if the NHL is just going to continue to have like different people come up and do these picks, like there's no way Carey Price knows who this guy is. Like
No.
all the scouts know, all the GMs know. So if you're gonna have
probably-
players,
I think he
I'm,
just
I'm
forgot.
not gonna let people off that easy. Remember the name. Like I'm not. It was fine. I'm not like. I don't think.
Oh,
Carey
no,
Price
I-
did
No,
something
I
horrible.
agree with
but
you.
It's like,
You don't
it's
have to
not
come
a
with
big
like
deal. Just
I agree. You don't have to
remember
come
the
up with like a 12-step system to remember or anything like that. But it was definitely like
toss it on your
funny
hand,
mistake.
like
Have a
if
cue
you're feeling
card.
like a little dicey about it.
have a cue card.
I don't have a problem with cue cards either. I just don't think we need to be like, how dare we put these people in this position that they have to remember one name.
I was more saying like if
What are we
if
doing?
you
What
want
are we
NHL
doing?
if you want NHL players to announce picks. Just give him a cue card so this doesn't happen.
Yeah.
How'd they let
Yeah,
this
you're
happen?
right. It's a name. Like
Yeah.
you should know. You should be able to just remember a name.
No, Luca's,
Yeah.
Luca's right. They should have a banner that slowly comes down. It has to be stitched, not screen printed onto it.
Yeah.
So he knows it matters and it was the right pick.
You're right.
I'm trying to think of what else. Did you guys see the Connor Bedard meme like right before he was about to get picked? Like that face he was making. That's like.
I did not.
I was,
no.
there was a great caption like when you're about to go first overall, but you can't remember if you left your straightener on. Like people are funny with that. That was a
yeah.
good
It
moment.
was cool to see. Like you could, like he looks like cold as ice and like super ready and everything. But you could tell like before it was happening, he was taking a lot of good deep breaths, and it was cool to see. Just like it's
Yeah.
a massive thing that he'll never forget.
Do you guys feel like we haven't talked about him at all? in the last
We
episode?
will with the
One
next
more
question.
funny
Okay.
moment. The Coyotes' first pick, he was genuinely like he looked shocked that
He was really
selected.
yeah.
So if you need another reason to be like maybe
Just
that wasn't the
one
right
time,
pick.
if that happens, I want someone to pull a Price is Right. Whoa! And then they sprint down. They're taking this jacket. Yeah!
Details, yeah.
They're like, what the hell? I was here for day 2. I'm not even wearing a suit. They were like, they got the
I
drink
forget
in
that
hand
they
or
like
something.
invite everyone, and so
Yeah.
they're all there even for day one. It's not like the NFL or NBA where it's just like if you're guaranteed to get drafted, like you're gonna be there.
This one's probably, as you said, we haven't really discussed Bedard. I feel like it's probably the one.
Let's just love up on him right now.
Who? This is a crazy question. First player to go to the Hall from this draft.
Connor Bedard.
Oh, Bedard, for
Crazy.
sure. I think, he's.
Guy said,
I think Michikov's really good, but but I think Bedard.
Okay.
Yeah.
Yeah, I think
He's
good
sick,
answer.
man.
He's
Yeah.
incredible. We were talking a little bit about it that like I feel like I've had some casuals come up to me and just be like, "Nah, Bedard's gonna be a bust." It's like, no,
Because you said, I think like people for what again, like he's not like a large guy, but I think like people are totally overblowing how small or is that?
Yeah.
this is-
He's not a
like
large guy, but his
he's
lower half
not
is like twice
small
mine.
at all.
I also think, and if
and his
I've
upper half, like
He's
Yeah.
a bit. He's
Yeah.
not. Yeah, exactly. Like
Yeah.
when you saw him on the bike, there, I was like, he's gonna break that damn
Yeah.
thing.
if I've learned anything over like the past few drafts, it was the Jack Hughes Kako draft where like they both played at the World Hockey Championships and Kako was like dominating against like grown men. Everyone was saying Hughes struggled, and then Hughes struggled in his first year, and that was part of my thing where I called Hughes a bust.
Yeah.
I was like, he's too small. He's whatever.
You called Jack Hughes a bust?
After the first year, I was like, yeah, I think he's just too small. Like the size concerns are real, and then it's just like,
You called Jack
At least you
Hughes
can
a
call
bust?
yourself out.
yeah, I did.
at least
I
you're
was
honest.
definitely down on him. Yeah, I
he
don't know.
didn't
I remember
like Jack.
Did you say
Hughes.
bust though? I remember you were down on it.
Might
You
have been
said-
a butt. I just didn't believe in him being like the first overall pick. I was like, yeah, Kako, like guy looks dominant against grown men. Like, he's
Yeah.
no, but and it's important to I guess remember just how far hockey has come. Where it's like size isn't the end all be all anymore. Like you need to be a really good skater. You have to have a good shot. Like those things may be more valuable now the way hockey is played than like just being big and like ogre-y on the ice.
Well, it's funny because it's such a weird thing between like realistically like soccer and hockey are kind of similar in some ways in how they work, and like no one ever looks at like Messi and is like too small. Well,
Yeah,
maybe they did
do.
at one point.
They did.
Yeah.
And they like he's the outlier for that because there are plenty of I won't bore us with soccer. So there are players who are like similar where they're like, but look at Messi, and then you're like,
He's not Messi,
Yeah,
but that's the thing. But that Bedard could
Angel
be Messi.
Gomez for the United. I'll end it with that one. You can go look him up. He didn't work out. But
I will say, based on I don't know if it's just because they've never done this weird like I don't know if you guys have ever seen this because Zach Benson and Connor Bedard were both measured at 5'9" and 3/4.
Yeah.
Which I was like I've never really seen them do like this weird like fraction for height, but if they actually now list that as his height now, he will be the shortest first overall pick in the history of the NHL.
Wow.
short
Interesting.
kings.
There's never been anyone under
Love
5'10".
a short king.
but that's me.
That's you.
Short
king.
Two short kings, Bryce Young in the NFL, and now Connor Bedard in the, and then the exact opposite in the NBA. With Victor. It's
Oh yeah.
Can I actually? I just realized I'm going to throw in last question here.
Wow.
Who do you now think has the best prospect pool in the NHL, and why is it the Buffalo Sabres?
I think it
I'd
might
say
be Columbus.
Yeah.
Chicago's is really good too.
Yeah.
Like, they just have the entire World Juniors team.
Kevin Korchinski. I
Nolan
think he's
Allen,
nasty, yeah.
Kirby Doc.
All right, take it back
Or
because this
Colton Dock,
is
not
not turning the
Kirby.
way. And my real question was, it's World War. No, we're done.